Looking for something to read? Well, these are the books that I've written. Hop on down to the description to find the Amazon links for all 4 of them, and keep your eyes open for more in the future. With that said, on to the video. Hello ladies and gentlemen, I'm the Omni viewer, and yes, the Bandai Movie Monsters series figure of the -1 Godzilla has just arrived, but this is not a figure review. It's the Bandai Movie Monsters series. We know how things are going to go with these by this point. What I instead wanted to do was something similar to what I did when the anime Gamera figure arrived, which is I want to use this figure to actually take a closer look at Godzilla's design. I mean, now that we have the ability to actually look at it in the full 360-degree view, why not, right? Because this is a new Godzilla design, one that could very well set the standard going forward, so I figured I may as well take a look at it. So, right off the bat I can tell you that, obviously, it looks like Godzilla. That is the bare minimum of what you have to do to get the design right. If I were to show this to some random person without any context and ask, what monster is this? They would say, well, that looks like Godzilla. So, that much has been accomplished. Generally speaking, it does have that look. And it also achieves several other things, like, obviously, it has Godzilla's similar conical shape, if you will. By that I mean, Godzilla's always had this sort of thing where he's narrow at the top and gets wider towards the bottom. So that's what I mean by conical. In this case, it is quite pronounced because he has very thick legs, very sturdy looking and everything, big feet, chunky thighs and everything. And then we get to the head. I mean, this is a tiny head. Now, perhaps it's not fully representative of how it'll look in the movie, because different shots in the trailer, I've looked and thought, well, the head looks a little bit bigger than this. But then again, there are other shots that do make it look this small. Now, is it too small? I don't know. It's taking some getting used to, really. I mean, Godzilla has always had a proportionally smaller head than you would expect from the very beginning. Considering he's supposed to be a theropod dinosaur, I mean, theropod dinosaurs usually have large heads. Godzilla, not always. And yeah, a lot of people thought that when it came to the MonsterVerse, that was the smallest his head could get, but it's looking like -1 may prove that wrong in the long term. So, Godzilla's head here is tiny, but I don't know, it's taking a lot of getting used to. I made a similar observation about the Rebirth Gamera's head, and that turned out okay, but even Rebirth Gamera's head wasn't this small compared to the rest of him. And of course, as I mentioned, really big feet. And I noticed they're going back to the sort of retracted fourth toe, or inner toe, almost making it like a dew claw, which is something we've seen before, like it's on the Final Wars design, on the G2K design, on the original design. They all have those feet where the innermost toe is a little bit further in. It's a bit more pronounced with -1 Godzilla here, as you can see. But then again, that seems to be the recurring theme. Getting into other details, his hands are also very small from what I've noticed. Again, maybe the figure isn't 100% accurate, but these are very tiny hands. More importantly though, let's see if I can zoom in a little here. You may notice he doesn't have thumbs. All of his fingers are facing the same direction, which makes his hands look more like paws. And Godzilla has had thumbs in the past. Granted, that's because there have been human hands inside of the suit, but this is the first design I can think of that doesn't have that. I mean, even the 1998 design had a thumb on each hand. But then again, that's Zilla now. But otherwise, I mean, It's an interesting design choice. I don't know if it's my favorite option, but, you know, it does add a more animal look to him. And then, of course, we have the spines. And what really struck me about the spines when I first saw them in, like, the different promos and whatnot was that I used to draw Godzilla spines like this when I was a kid, and I didn't quite have a proper understanding of how to draw Godzilla. I would draw his spines very much like this, narrow where they connect to the body, really exaggerated protrusions like this, even kind of a similar shape overall, which is kind of surreal to me. I mean, it wasn't accurate, but that's how Godzilla's spines looked in my mind's eye, so that's how I put them down on paper. Seeing them actually on an official design is kind of surreal in a way, and it's not a bad look, but it is taking a little getting used to, again, much like with the head. It's overall not a design that I expected Godzilla to have, just in any capacity. But, like I said, it is recognizable as Godzilla, so it's got that going for it, and that's about all I can really say at the moment. I'll need to reserve full judgment until I actually see it in action, and not just in the trailers. And the trailers are promising that this Godzilla will actually be doing stuff. Actually, getting in a little closer, I noticed certain things like there's sort of a prominent scale on his elbow right here that even has a bit of a point sticking out the back, which almost looks like it's some sort of defensive feature. And there are the armored plates on his feet and everything. But, yeah, otherwise, it's overall not a bad design. I don't know if it's a design that I'm enthralled with, but, well, we'll find that out come December. Well, I'll find it out come December. There are those of you in Japan who will find out a lot sooner, but, well, that's just, I don't have anything else to say about that. I'm just pointing it out. Anyway, those are my thoughts on the design at the moment. We will see what happens when the future comes. Until such time as we meet again, this is the Omni Viewer signing off. Thank you all for watching. If you want to see us keep doing what we're doing, you might consider doing all the usual YouTube things, as well as hopping down to the description to find links to DeviantArt, Patreon, Twitter, and links for the different books in the Tales from the Omnivault universe. Your support is naturally appreciated. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.